So a while back, somebody asked me to do a video on vril energy. Now, vril energy is the Vril Society or Thule Society's concept of vital energy or vital essence. Now, vital energy is a concept that, or life energy, is a concept that transcends all cultures. All cultures have a concept of life energy or life force or something of that nature. It's the same thing, whether you call it ki, chi, prana, jing. There's many different. In fact, in the Chinese, you have the yi, the qi, and the jing. The yi is the mind, the qi is the life force, and the jing is like the sexual energy. And then you have concepts like orgone. What's his name? Wilhelm Reich's idea of orgone. And in fact, I made a whole video about vitalism. And in it, I mentioned Wilhelm Reich, and I will leave a link to I'll leave a link to that video in the description. And I believe vitalism is what somewhat, or not vitalism, but I do believe something called the Miller-Urey experiment, which showed that by putting basically the elements, the chemical elements, the molecular elements of an early Earth's atmosphere into a machine, a closed system, and zapping it and circulating it, it did cause amino acids to form. Okay, so it caused the molecules to organize into the building blocks of life. So that being said, the concept of ki cultivation, we call it ki in Korean, as they do in Japan. It's called ki, which just means life force or vital essence or something of that nature. Animal magnetism is what Franz Anton Mesmer called it. People might know who Franz Anton Mesmer was. Mesmerism differs from hypnosis. Do not confuse the two, because hypnosis is not mesmerism. Mesmerism works off of the power, the energy transfer. It does not work from like a trick of the mind, whereas hypnosis does. Somewhere along the line, mesmerism and regular hypnosis have been confused with one another. They're not the same thing. So how does one cultivate vital essence? Now, there's a lot of different practices, and people might be surprised to find out that not all of these practices are exactly the same. There are the breathing techniques of like zazen. Zazen means just sitting in the system of Zen Buddhism. So you're just sitting and sitting quietly. A lot of times you will breathe in and breathe out. It's diaphragmatic breathing. But the thing is, does this really help you cultivate the chi energy or the ki energy? What I've always thought is it makes you conscious of this energy. What is this energy? Well, this energy can be a lot of things. It can be nerve force. In fact, it's pretty much all forms of energy if you look at the concepts. It's energy that is made by the body. Technically, it's like electrical energy. It's heat energy in the concept of Tumo yoga. Tumo yoga being the practice of Tibetan heat generation yoga. Okay, so a lot of the techniques do involve breathing techniques, slowing the mind down, not concentrating on things of that nature. But these techniques really do not do justice to the concept of cultivating vital energy in its entirety. Some of the more Western methods, which make use of diet and exercise, I think do a much better job. Now, what kind of diet should one follow to cultivate? Now, this is the thing. The medical discipline of natural hygiene basically is vital energy cultivation. So with this, yeah, you do want to do the breathing exercises and the meditative exercises and things like that, but you don't want to scrimp on things like sleeping enough to allow your vital energy to replenish. You don't want to scrimp on things like exercising properly, and you don't want to scrimp on things like eating a balanced vegetarian or vegan diet, which is recommended in natural hygiene. So these are all things that people should take into consideration. There are also certain supplements. Before I continue with that, I want to remind people I am not a doctor. I am not a physician of any kind. I'm not a nurse practitioner, not a nutritionist, not a dietitian. But there are certain supplements that one can take to improve their ability to manufacture ATP, which is the energy currency of the cell. Things like creatine monohydrate, nicotinamide mononucleotide, and what is it? Nicotinamide I forget how to pronounce that one. NMN and MNNR are two things that you can take that help to help with mitochondrial health. Most of the B vitamins help with this also. So it's very important to understand that you basically, vital energy is the life essence. It's the life energy. Another thing that is not stressed enough, except in Taoist circles, is the use of what could be called Kegel exercises. These, with men, it's as though you stop the flow of urine. These are made to tone, well, and with women too. It's as though you're stopping the flow of your urine. Of course, you wouldn't be urinating, but you're tensing the same muscles that you would to stop the flow of urine, and you tense them. This helps with pelvic tone. Pelvic floor exercises are more important than any other form of exercise for key development. And the reason why is because that's where what we call in Korean the danjun or the tanjun is your center of gravity, but it's in basically the right below the belly button and in about an inch. It's in the exact center of your body. And this is this muscular area. It needs to be toned, and the easiest way to do that is with abdominal exercises like sit-ups, leg raises, well, sit-ups are better than crunches, but crunches, sit-ups, leg raises, and also with pelvic floor exercises help to tone this whole region, which would be like the pelvis to the upper abdomen. But the tanjun or the danjun or the hara in Japanese is your exact center of gravity. This is supposedly where key energy is stored. But the stronger this is, the stronger your ability to move properly and things like that are. In Aikido, the mindset is to focus on the hara. Remind you that Aikido is Japanese, that's why I'm saying hara, not tanjun or danjun, which would be Korean. My point is that the traditional emphasis on breathing techniques and things like that, I think, falls short when one considers the fact that you can add the concepts of diet, exercise, physical exercise, and in fact, the Shaolin Temple, which is a Buddhist school of Kung Fu, the Shaolin Kung Fu, they make heavy use of hard external means of conditioning the body to increase ki. Okay, so for example, one of the ways they do it is the muscle tendon and bone changing qigong, which involves hitting the body, striking the body with hard objects, and also lifting weights, lifting hammers and things like that. And I will leave a link to my review of that book. I'm going to leave a link to a bunch of my reviews, a review on therapeutic breathing techniques, a review on eating your way to health, Chinese traditional medicines, diet therapy. I'm going to leave links to a couple different ones of the books I reviewed. So how it works is the muscle and tendon changing qigong involves lifting heavy things. It involves doing exercises, but I do think that the muscle and tendon changing qigong, quite like Hanjo Undo, which is the Okinawan practice of strength training for karate, I think these things are easily replaced with a calisthenic and weightlifting program, a modern calisthenic and weightlifting program, which is better. It's harder to replace the striking with that, like the makawara and things like that. It's hard to replace a makawara with anything I know of at the moment. And that's all for this video. Follow the links in the description if you're curious.